use okay. Should be fine then. Let me see if I click a video.
So it's very rare to see bigger name.
Uh,
Can I help you?
Okay. Should be fine then.
So, so it's very rare to see bigger names in the gaming community, the content creator community, playing Destiny outside of like a sponsorship, right? Destiny tends to live in its own little bubble
Just
outside the
listening to myself.
greater landscape of gaming or even first person shooters. There's just not
Okay.
that much crossover for whatever reason, right?
Okay.
So whenever someone big from the outside comes and like takes a peek inside,
Content new. Content Nike. Okay, let's watch it. Oh fuck. Oh, just stole my whole hat. Wait, there has to be a way to. Cause now, cause you. Okay, let's go over here real quick. Okay, right now we're kind of just chilling. We're trying to. Okay. 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 Try it again. Try it again. Try it again. That's what we gotta do, man. Transitions. Multiple output. Okay. Washington's on your side. It must be nice. It must be nice to have Washington on your side. It must be nice. Washington's on your side. Okay. install it, right? And then we're gonna come over here. We're gonna go to TikTok Live Studio, right? Excuse me. It must be nice. It must be nice. Okay. So now we do TikTok Live Studio right here. Download. Okay. Install. Open. It's an Orber. Orber. What's an Orber? Orber. How come I'm not the Okay. Sorry, got a little sucked into my stream, my video. What am I doing? Okay, we bring this over here, right? Oh, is that fine? It just might be. Yeah, 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 yeah. Uh, okay. YouTube too. At source or at scene? At source. This is text. I'm on YouTube too. Okay. Okay. Uh, real quick, just want to make sure that okay. Second, sorry, I gotta just like 1 second. I gotta. I'm trying to put this together, but shit, man. Okay. Okay. Benjamin. Okay. This one. Okay. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Gotta do the. Let's go. Sorry, Sorry, trying to make sure everything is cool. Let me hear this. Can't even hear the microphone.
Few people cried.
Okay, let me try
Most people were silent.
Most people were silent.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, I'm talking and I'm talking over it right now. Let's hear it.
Takes on multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Okay. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Bring this up. Settings. Oh wait, wrong settings. My bad. Primary. Which one is oh, this one? Okay, that one should be better. Let me see. Get a video.
Fucking bloodthirsty, violent pig dogs. Why am I held accountable? God forbid you throw up the fucking green Hamas banner. Happy birthday to you.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
Hello. What's going on? Today I am reacting to Hasan Piker content Nuke. Why am I reacting to Hasan Piker content Nuke? Because it's interesting, and I think it's a kind of a nuanced conversation that we should be having a little bit more of. We should be having a little bit more conversation about stuff like this, and I think it's important. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna watch, we're gonna listen. I don't give a fuck if we're alone. I don't care who's watching. Wait a second, did I? Tools, subscriptions, chat, and interview. Okay. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, let's just watch. Why am I making this? I know why. Because you're a hater! And you hate Hasan Piker! And you hate anything with reason and you hate lefties. That's why.
Oh, hi there. It's me, your old friend, Ethan Klein. It's been a while since we've last spoken. In that time, I've had 3 kids, all boys. I've lost 100 pounds. And I've pissed off 75% of the internet. Probably.
You see, a big mistake that Ethan is making here already. We just started this. A huge mistake in what Ethan is making is he assumes that 75% of the internet didn't hate him already prior to this. Okay? Now, if you've been a fan of Ethan Klein, if you've been a fan of... Wait, we have the same? No, we don't have the same keyboard. I thought we had the same keyboard, but my money not up like that. But it's okay. But if you've been a fan of Ethan Klein, as I've been a fan of Ethan Klein, and I've been kind of in the YouTube space for a long while, you kind of know everybody fucking hates him. That's like essentially what I'm trying to say. Everybody hates him for one reason or another, and nobody actually ever says the real reason as to why they hate them. At least the reasons I always hear people say why they hate him is not valid. So I'm just gonna continue to.
Probably a lot of you guys too. Actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas. Someone should bomb.
Listen, I kind of think that this take is based. I think not actually, but I think saying it like that is actually really based.
Oh yeah, and I got a tattoo also, so I'm cool like that now. Left or right, I always thought that despite our differences, there was one thing we could all agree on. And what was that? That we love America and
Sure do,
everything
baby.
it stands for.
Sure do.
Mom and Dad and apple pie.
Sure, there's plenty to criticize and endless things to improve, but I thought it was about making a more perfect union, not tearing it down.
And marching bands, a pride that only
The thing is, there's something kind of scary brewing in America. Communism.
That's America. That's America to me.
I started a show a couple of years ago with my acquaintance, Hasan Piker. You might remember him from such classics
Is he
as
playing Marvel Rivals in the back? What does he mean?
Dude, fuck it. I'm saying it. Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers.
Oh my
in the video.
God.
Sorry. Holy shit.
What's going
No,
on?
That's not what I said. You
Out of
dumb
context,
fucker
guys.
bitch.
and of course, The Leftovers
Oh my
podcast,
God.
which was our show, which we made broadly to goof on the antics of the right. Now, to be clear,
Hard take. Leftovers only actually started to get good at the end when they were like actually kind of talking about some of the ins and outs of leftist politics. Like, it's not fun having two people in the same I don't even want to say same party, but it's not fun when you have two people who just agree 24/7. I was really fucking with the end of Leftovers. In my opinion, Leftovers was at its prime. And this is probably super fucked up because obviously, like, October 7th is not something to be in a prime about. But it was like in its prime after October 7th. Like, once they started talking about real politics and kind of the nitty gritty, like, it's actually such an injustice, in my opinion. It is such an injustice, in my opinion, that the moment they started to disagree even a little, that's the moment when that's the moment when everything fell apart, right? When they finally started to disagree on the smallest amount of things, right? Like, in my opinion, it's so much more important. It's so much more important to have leftist politics, especially leftist politics. Especially, you need to give more grace. You need to be able to listen to people and talk to them. The fact that Leftovers ended directly after October 7th, that was the prime time for Leftovers to actually turn into a good lefty show, was when Ethan and Hasan came to disagreements. Like, if instead of tearing apart the left and liberals or whatever, right? Like, that's just me referring to it in this two party, the right and the left, right? There's obviously a bunch of shit in the spectrum in the middle, which is fine, but just overall generalizing, right? Ethan being a general lefty, and then Hasan being more of an extreme lefty, which in some cases is fine. I'm not just gonna say like being a extreme lefty is bad all the time, right? Like, there's a problem with being too complacent on Ethan's side, and there's a problem with being too extreme on Hasan's side, and there's a problem with being too complacent on the right side and too extreme on the right side too, right? I think that if they would have just taken more time to get out of the emotions of October 7th and they just actually talked about their differences on Leftovers, it would have been so much more of a good show of proactive conversation, and Hasan could have held his extreme audience to a higher degree of understanding, and Ethan could have held his more, I don't want to say they're not. I'm a fan of Ethan, and I think his fans are pretty left. But I think if Ethan would have held his kind of more, I don't even know. I don't know. It's complicated with Ethan's fan base because it's way more of a melting pot than Hasan's is. Hasan's is like you got to believe in this. Whereas with Ethan's fan base, I've noticed a lot of, like, you got people from everywhere. You got Republicans who watch Ethan. You got fucking liberals, lefties. Like, you have so many different people who watch Ethan. And I see the chat shit on Ethan so much, right? Because I'm in the chat. I'm a member. Like, I see the chat shit on Ethan. So to me, it's like, I don't know. It's hard because I feel like during October 7th, they definitely should have just honed in on, we're more similar than we are different. But instead, it got really emotional. The fans got really volatile. Hasan was kind of pretending like his fans are innocent, and Ethan is pretending like the initial reaction to his argument isn't supposed to be this White Lives Matter thing. And I kind of get both points. Like,
we'll go through it more, but I do kind of see both points in that. It just seems like contra protest. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're only protesting for Israel because people are protesting for Palestine. I get both positions, but I think once you listen to Ethan's position a little bit more, and it's so easy to hone in on that being Ethan's position, I think when you hear it a little bit more, you kind of see where he's coming from. So I'm just gonna continue playing this. I just think that he needs to have better messaging overall.
Clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
There is Ethan Klein being a delightful human being.
I was just gonna say, if there's another Holocaust, if they start rounding up the Jews again, I hope Ben gets.
In poor taste, I admit it's in poor taste, but listen, he's a Jewish man, and the point is that Ben has done, my name being Ben as well, but Ben Shapiro has done more to harm Jews than that. That's Ethan's point. I don't know enough about Ben Shapiro to really say that, but
someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports
wait, let's go back.
And so
Let's go back.
he presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And we went on making the show for about 2 years, and everything was good. Everyone was having fun. The audience was having fun. No problem. That was until this happened.
We were doing our regular show, and for the first time,
I remember
we noticed
this.
an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was. I don't hate the idea of like people who can be successful. I think it's good that people can achieve success in the term monetary success. I mean, that's what that means, right? I do. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because I see so many people in the chat saying no.
I don't know what y'all are tripping about. Like, what the fuck do you
What
want?
is the idea
Take?
that
Are you guys
people
like
are
just-
looking for?
You guys are all like radical communists. There's that many radical.
I remember
communists?
this.
Fuck it, chat.
I remember this because at the time, this was right around like, you know, Leftovers been going on for a little bit now, and they were just talking about, I forget what, but it was like a crew conversation about something, and the chat was going crazy about Ethan saying like you should be able to make like millions of dollars or property, or he was talking about some shit like that, right? And all the chat was saying like, oh no, da 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 da, like these things shouldn't be allowed. And in my opinion, me personally, if I had to say what what I think should be happening is, I think we should be creating a system where I'm fine with billionaires existing as long as all the criteria below is met. Like, to me, that's the most important part. I am 100% for billionaires if all of the needs and criteria is set in law and, you know, being practiced ethically. Like, if we're at a place where everybody is earning money to the point where they like survivable income, right? Like not even survivable. We want like actual like thriving income. Do I think people should be rich from working at McDonald's? Absolutely not. But they should at least be able to afford an apartment for themselves, or maybe even a car, right? And like most people can, but the car part, maybe not the apartment. Like, well, apartments, listen, man, I live in a basement and it's like $700-800. Like, come on. But I definitely remember that there was an influx of kind of more of a like the communist Hasan audience, which is fine because it's Hasan's audience, right? Like, you're merging two channels, you're bringing Hasan onto the H3 network, and so it makes sense that his fans will come and they'll say their ideologies, right? That's fine. But I think the way it was being gone about, I think it would have been really valuable for Ethan to show the chat here. How about that? I think Ethan should have showed the chat.
You're watching a capitalist pig. Deal with it.
And then this happened.
This comment from Hasan really started to sound some alarms in my head. If you're in a socialist country with multiple parties, and one of the parties is a capitalist party, which would surely exist.
Yeah.
What would you do if that party started gaining momentum?
The solution to that would always be education and offering more
Re-education?
Re-education, certainly, yeah. There should be an enforcement mechanism, and in that enforcement mechanism, I think like rehabilitation, which would include re-education as well.
If putting capitalists in re-education camps isn't disturbing enough, I started to notice that Hasan was carrying a lot of water.
That is crazy, because then what do you say, right? What do you say if, like, Hasan's point and why it's dangerous is because what if people refuse that education? That's what happened time and time again. Anytime this type of stuff was offered, it's like, no, I don't want to unlearn the stuff that I learned, right? Like, that's almost, And don't get me wrong, that I'm not saying that doesn't brew ignorance, because it definitely can, right? But that's a part of freedom. A part of freedom is ignorance, right? And a part, like, as much as I dislike MAGA and I hate MAGA, right? I can acknowledge that there are, like, literally most of the country believes in MAGA, and most of the country, like, what am I supposed to do about that? Kill, like, you know what I'm saying? What am I supposed to do? Like, that's what they believe. Like, yes, it harms me. Yes, it harms people I love. Like, but literally, what am I supposed to do? Like, we can't force these people to just do what we want, right? Like they voted for this shit. We gotta wait it out. We gotta just keep fighting democratically. Like, if you're in a socialist, if you're in a socialist area, or a socialist, I don't even, country, I guess, and there's a vote for a capitalist, you're gonna force them to relearn your ways of socialism. You know, it's like, that's literally anti-democracy. That's anti-people, because if that person were to win, that means most people want capitalism, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
For communist
It's complicated, but it's not. It's definitely not as simple as Hasan is putting it. Like, at all. Like, these are, like, we're talking about the world here. The world. Like, let's be honest. This stuff is not simple at all. It's not as simple as re-education. Yeah, bro. Tell that to the Nazis who tried it. Like, that stuff doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
and genocides.
What do you call Crimea? I call it a part of Russian territory.
This is crazy. This is actually insane. You just don't care about Ukraine. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's insane how you can, on one hand, say this Crimea got taken in what, like 2014, 2013, something like that, and you're so ready to declare it Russian territory, yet Palestine was taken a generation ago, and your stance is that they should Israel should just shut down its borders, open them up, and give the country back. Like, it just makes no sense, right? Like, it just makes no sense. I'm all for free Palestine, but freeing Palestine doesn't mean obliterating Israel, dropping all of Israel. Like, that's unrealistic. That is an unrealistic, I want this war to continue on forever mentality, because he knows that that's not a solution. And anybody who watches him, who thinks he's so smart, right? Like, you should know that he knows that's not a realistic solution. Like, name one time in modern history where a country has just stood down their government. Okay, take it. Like, when has that ever happened? When? And when you're asking for a fight, and then your side starts to lose, you're crying, and that's just insane. And I'm not saying that, whatever, it doesn't matter. But
That's what I call
I just
Crimea.
think
I call it Crimea River, a Russian river.
that is crazy. That is so crazy. Like,
annexation of Crimea is absolutely a justifiable annexation.
Tibet was literally a fucking feudal slave mandate, like,
So
autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one. I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. You know, we talk about the Dalai Lama saying "suck my tongue" or whatever, but like, that's
that's a mistranslation, okay? That's a mistranslation. He did not. He did, well, okay. Verbatim, the Dalai Lama did say "suck my tongue." Now, where that comes from is there's like an old, like, kind of like Tibetan practice where it's like, oh, you want more, you want more, you want more. So it goes essentially like, oh, grab like, I'm trying to think of a good example. It's like, okay, let's say I'm a kid, right? And I just ate all this cake. I had all this cake, and then I say something along the lines of like, I want more cake. In Tibet, what they would say is, oh, you want more cake? Okay, here's more cake. Here's my fork. Here's my plate. Oh, okay, here's my arm. Here's my heart. Here's my tongue. Like, you want, like, you're being so greedy. You want everything taken from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he's saying. And to just not misquote, but to just completely, like, whitewash essentially what he's saying, because his English is broken. Like, mind you, this is a Tibetan man speaking English. Like, let's be real here. Let's be real. Like, this is not honest right here. The Dalai Lama did, don't get me wrong, Tibet has had crazy history with, you know, child stuff and all that, but to just kind of mischaracterize what he's saying in that context, which a lot of people on the left have done. And I'm on the left. I consider myself on the left. But a lot of people on the left have done that, where they just mischaracterize kind of things that they hear. Every time. Well, everybody does that, right? But me being on the left, I'm disappointed in other people on the left doing that type of shit because it just hurts our position.
Unilaterally took over Tibet,
like
their culture. They basically are trying to, you know, homogenize the culture.
If your culture,
they're trying to spoil the religion and the identity.
The part of feudal warlords and slavery, abolishing that, yes, I do think that is good.
No, China did them a favor.
This is a good way to describe Taiwan as well. The American federal government.
Hasan's issue, I think, with this point specifically is that he is saying that, like, okay, essentially what he's saying that is because in their laws it was said that all these things, slavery and all that stuff was legal, that it's okay to then take over their even civilian populace, right? Like stuff like that. But that's not, but he wouldn't say the same thing for Palestine, right? Like in their constitution, I believe martyrdom is celebrated, right? It is like, okay, like it is kind of encouraged. If you die in an act of political violence, your family will be paid. Like that is like, you know what I'm saying? We can't hold citizens to their government. Like we can't do that because look at what the fuck our government is doing. Like my government doesn't represent me right now. My government doesn't represent most of the people I know. My government doesn't represent those ideologies that most people, I believe most people believe, right? Like at the end of the day, even I feel like a lot of Trumpers don't believe in the shit that comes out of their mouths because the only reason they really voted for Trump is just because they're tired of, it's just a big old fuck you to the libs. Like it just pisses you off. They don't give a fuck. They're just kind of trying to take advantage of your emotions. Like they actually don't care about anything Trump has to say. And that, like, come on, we know that already.
Going into the fucking South and killing, unfortunately not all of them, but a decent amount of slavers and defenders of slavery. This is...
I believe that happened after the slaves were freed and they didn't want to give them up, though. So it's like you're holding free people as slaves when that's illegal. If they didn't do that before Emancipation Proclamation, they didn't do that before the slaves were freed. They did that afterwards, when people refused to let go of their slaves. When people, after all that shit, were still holding on to people. Like, it's
violent retribution from a powerful federal government that squashed, okay?
Tibet is the South in the Civil War?
Yes.
And most disturbingly, a complete whitewashing of the Chinese genocide against their Muslim minority group, the Uyghurs.
Really, don't they have Uyghur death camps? Is that?
It's not a death camp. They were re-education camps, and they are no longer.
And that's the problem with re-education camps is that we can't. It's not like this hasn't happened before, right? The Jews went to re-education camps, and what happened? Some of them just never came home. I believe they went on to go become doctors or something, right? Like. It's not that simple as just re-education. Like, we can't trust the opposition to then, like, that's insane. Like, imagine, oh my God, could you imagine saying that to anybody else? Could you imagine if, what's his name? Mahmoud Khalil? I don't know his name. I'm sorry. I don't know his name. I should. But, imagine if they just said, oh, we're taking him to re-education. It's like, bro, that is so ambiguous. Like, what? The fuck are you sending him to Lake Laogai? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
An operation.
Is that
according
true?
to the Associated Press?
Okay. I saw this crazy documentary, and I don't know. I don't know the surrounding narrative or anything about it, but it was about there was doctors in the area. They would be able to procure organs.
No, no.
I'm telling you, they were in China with.
Dog, that one is like Shen Yun.
They're like,
Falun
we can
Gong.
get you an organ. From a Uyghur. But why is that? Is that really that crazy?
That's the thing too, is that like Ethan is trying to like joke around with this type of stuff too, to kind of show you how ridiculous it kind of is, right? It's like we know what happened. Like we have a historical, like you lying about history before the 1900s or after the 1900s is ridiculous. Everything is documented. Like everything. That's like when MAGA says that January 6th was an inside job. It's like, bro, we have unlimited history. Like you realize that you cannot lie about this. It's all here, bro.
Associated Press quietly fucking wrote an article that didn't get a lot of coverage in mainstream media about how, like, okay, well, you know, all the concentration camps have been closed now. Like, all the re-education camps are closed now in fucking Xinjiang, and it's like very different. Very different.
That's not
vibes in Xinjiang, and now, you know, it's
oh, the vibes are different now. It's chill vibes now, guys. Like, do you not see that? Like, it's like this weird, like, he's trying to like coolify it almost. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I definitely think Ethan's messaging hurts him 99% of the time. Like, his points are solid. It's who's saying it and how he fucking says it, and that's the most annoying part about being an Ethan Klein fan, or at least the H3 fan, is that, like. And I get it, right? This is kind of almost pre-iDubbbz, but not as much. But it's the same sense of, like, I know where my values lie. I don't need to prove to anybody. But at a certain point, while I agree with that, and I agreed with iDubbbz back then, and I agree with Ethan now, but the issue is that you kind of need to, like, exposure therapy to shit. You cannot just go in and start saying all sorts of crazy shit and then go, the people know where my heart lies. It's like, no, you have to be kind of, especially somebody like Ethan who knows he's in a microscope and who knows people are kind of digging at him for any little thing. I wish he would take more of responsibility in changing his messaging and really just making sure that he's not fucking up in the same way that he fucked up, like yesterday, 2 days ago, where he's meant to say Islamists. Instead, he said Islamic. And it's like, bro, it's an important distinction, especially when it comes down to clips. Especially, like, this is the battle we're in. It's 2025, baby boy. We're fighting for clips. Like, come on, bro. Coolsville sucks. Like, we get it, you know? Like, we get it. Coolsville sucks. We gotta be a little bit more.
Press actually had to say about this. These are all AP articles from the last 2 years. UK independent body reports China committed genocide in Xinjiang. China sanctioned a U.S. research firm and 2 individuals over a report about the human rights violations in Xinjiang.
It's the tourism hour.
To China's fury, UN accuses Beijing of Uyghur rights abuses.
Tourism hour.
Uyghur County in China has the highest prison rate in the world. 1 in 25 people is in a Chinese prison.
It's the tourism hour.
48 Uyghurs detained in Thailand for almost 11 years are on hunger strike to protest their imminent deportation to China, where they face imprisonment or execution.
Not only does this AP article seem not to exist, reading the AP proved exactly the opposite. Hasan has happily eaten up the Chinese propaganda on this and has regurgitated it to his mainstream audience. Why is he defending China's genocide of their Muslim population? How does this even make sense? It only makes sense if A, he's being paid, or B, he has the political complexities of a 5-year-old. I know America bad.
I don't know if I like this whole argument of Hasan being paid off. I don't know if I don't necessarily buy that, and I don't like that it's being put, like, there's so many things you could criticize Hasan for, and just like throwing out the payment thing without any like receipts towards it just feels a little bit like muddying the waters, right? Like, it's just like you have for a fact, at least I know for a fact, that when if Hasan were to ever watch this, that's the point he would stick on to. Oh, look, he's saying I'm getting paid by Saudi Arabia because he's Islamophobic, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many more things you could be grabbing onto than just like trying to get that weak ass little jab in. Like, that jab is hurting you more than it's hurting him. That jab is, he's waiting for that little jab so that he can hit his audience with the hook. Like, you need to put this together. Stop with the trying to muddy some water. Unless you come in with more proof about Hasan being paid. Hey, shit, I'm down for proof. I'm always down for proof. But one of my biggest criticisms towards you, Ethan, is always gonna be you don't know how to conceptualize a paragraph consistently. That's it. You don't know how to say your point and make it clean like that. You know, Hasan does. Hasan, as he said, I am a propagandist. He knows how to do this shit. He does this shit for real. And I get it. You're a comedian, you're a podcaster, you dabble in politics, and you are a human on this earth who obviously politics affects. So you're going to talk about that. But when you're dealing with these psychos on the internet, not necessarily Hasan, But a lot of these parasocial psychos who watch your podcast, who watch his podcast all fucking day, these people are looking for any excuse to hate you, right? These people are looking for any excuse to hate him. We need to be a little bit more cohesive in our criticisms. That way, your audience isn't going saying bullshit like Hasan is getting paid, and that's wrong. And his audience isn't coming around saying bullshit like Ethan believes babies should be, you know what I mean? Like we need to just like even it out, right? The scales of justice are not this extreme measure. It's the slowing of equality, right? It's this. It's not this. You don't want to fucking add too much on this side over and over again trying to fucking counteract. No, you move slowly and you stop when you get to the closest, right? You stop when you get here. Like it's very simple. Like it's very simple.
Is a meme that people laugh at online. But with Hasan, this does actually seem to be the beginning paid. How does this even make sense? It only makes sense if A, he's being paid, or B, he has the political complexities of a 5-year-old. I know America Bad is a meme that people laugh at online, but with Hasan, this does actually seem to be the beginning and the end of his analysis.
Two principles. Let me explain to you. 2 principles that you should keep with you, coming from a person who's Turkish, okay? When you look at a situation in the Middle East, you look at what the local government is and who the Western forces are. Never align with the Western forces. So when I look at other countries, I look at the regional actor, whoever the regional power player.
A hot take, but being a small country doesn't just automatically make you like righteous. You know what I'm saying? Like being in Star Wars, right? There's the rebellion, but I'm sure there are other rebellions, right, against the Empire. I'm sure not every rebellion agrees with whatever the fuck Luke and those motherfuckers are doing, right? Like, there are other rebellions who think, like, no, we need to use the dark side to kill these motherfuckers, right? Like, that's... I'm sure that's a thought process, but...
And then I look
hey,
at
who am I?
is backed by the Western superpowers. That's a principle that you could take home with you if you want to actually be moral, or if you want to be smart.
If you actually want to be moral... Wait, let's replay that.
Superpowers. That's a principle that you could take home with you if you want to actually be moral, or if you want to be...
If you actually want to be moral, like, okay, since when is being moral just cringe now? If you actually want to be moral, or whatever the fuck that is, you actually want to be moral. Okay, Hasan.
Smart about the way you analyze other countries. That's one basic principle that you can take home with you. All of a sudden, magically, you are above on your foreign policy analysis. You're going to be better off than 90% of people that look at the situation.
I love that this type of shit gets said, right? But then at the same time, like, now that the curtain's being peeled back, a little bit by the Trump administration, by taking away all of the shit that fucking we like, right? Our social shit, right? It's insane to me how much Hasan, I haven't watched Hasan in a while, right? But it's insane to me how Hasan just, like, he'll say all this stuff, but then he'll go out of his way to not acknowledge the fact that, like, we were paying for, like, Sesame Street and shit over there. And don't get me wrong, I get it, because it's like, well, we destabilized the fucking Middle East, so the least we could do is fund programs to kind of make sure that their kids aren't growing up fucking hating America, right? Like, we want to make sure that their kids are having a well-rounded education and, like, foundational something, right? They're not having Hamas team members come up to them and try to indoctrinate them like some fucking drug dealer from the street getting a fucking 11-year-old kid whose parents got to work 9 to 5, right? Like, it's like, it's better than that. And these are things that we have to talk about and appreciate when they're happening. Because nobody talked about the fact that the Biden administration was doing that, and now that it's taken away, all of a sudden we're supposed to give a fuck, right? The two biggest leftist political streamers didn't mention the fact that that's a good thing that we're doing over there, because it is a good thing. We should be trying to nourish the minds of the kids in what country we're destabilizing. Like, what? We shouldn't be trying to extrematize them. We shouldn't be trying to traumatize them. We shouldn't be trying to genocide them. We shouldn't be trying to make sure that they grow up and support a rebellion, right? Like none of that stuff is okay. We should just be making sure that the life that they live is I don't know the word. Stable! There you go, that's the word, stable.
After seeing all of this, I was already getting uncomfortable with our partnership.
I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
And then this happened.
We have breaking news out of Israel this morning where Hamas has launched a surprise attack within Israel's borders overnight.
After the shock of October 7th, I noticed a huge increase of anti-Semitic comments from Hasan's stream and Discord, including from his head mod. I was disturbed that Hasan was seemingly okay with this.
Can you, do you care that your chat is calling me racist? Do you make any attempt to modify?
I just think it's important to
not looked at my chat.
Moderate that at
I have
all.
not looked at my chat at all, but you
I
have
just
to
opened it, but don't you have
What's up, Emma? What's up, Emma? How you doing, Emma?
There's 32,000 people in here right now.
I'm just trying to tell you guys how it feels. And I'm fucking shocked that you don't care that people in your chat are saying, who the fuck is this child, cold,
Ethan,
arrogant, kind as fuck.
I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
How can you be surprised when your Discord is literally full of fucking...
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do if you're making...
Hasan is like trying not to laugh here. Like, it's so insane to me. Look at his face. He's like happy that this is happening. You know? Like, he can say all he wants. He can say all he wants that he's not happy that this is happening. But he is happy that they're berating him. Like, look at the chat. I can see it right over his head. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's really read this chat and see. Ethan's point, like, I would just like to clarify. Ethan's point is that October 7th, although being a sign of resistance from the Palestinians, is wrong because you're killing civilians, which in turn will make the Israeli government then have a reason to just essentially give them the reason to do what they've been doing for the last year, or like however long it's been happening, despite what's already been happening with the blockade and stuff like that prior, right? Like, Ethan's point is that if you're just saying things that you don't know, right? For example, like from the river to the sea. Ethan's point is that from the river to the sea insinuates that all of Palestine, right? And when they say all of Palestine, they're talking about pre-48 borders. I don't know the exact year, but they're talking about pre-1948 borders where it was Israel. Like, I don't even believe there was an Israel at that time. But that's essentially what it means. Like, over there, overseas, right? That's the extremist language you hear overseas. And then Americans come and they hear it, and all they hear is, well, this is what they're saying in signs of resistance. Let's say this. But it's different when you say, they can say it because they're close to the thing, they're close to the conflict, and it's harder for them to get perspective and to kind of see that, like, see the detachment there. But for us, in the country that's kind of helping wage this war, it's very important for us to distinguish what's good messaging and what's bad messaging, right? If you want to help the conflict, what you have to do is you have to adhere to the plight of the Palestinians, but more importantly, you have to adhere to the person who is winning the fight, right? You have to, if Israelis and the Israeli government are winning the fight, then maybe we should hear out what they're saying, because if not, then they're just gonna keep going until we fucking, I don't even know, until, like, they're just gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to at least hear what they, like, what is their end goal, because they're the ones with the cards, right? They're the ones, like, sadly, I don't agree with them being the ones with the cards, but that's the case. So you can't go around saying from the river to the sea, and then the Israeli government is using that as propaganda. As you see, they're saying from the river to the sea. What river, what sea? That means they want to erase all of Israel. And then they get their population riled up. And then their population starts to support. Although now, and around the time of October 7th, a lot of Israelis were protesting Netanyahu and stuff like that. And at the time, there was kind of it was such a mix. Like, it's so complicated. All this stuff is just so complicated. And you have to be willing to really listen. And you have to really just be willing to listen to both sides. That, to me, is Ethan's whole entire point, is that if you want Jews in Israel to sympathize with the Palestinian plight, which a lot of them already do, if you want to change minds, right, then you have to stop being so aggressive towards those who don't agree with you. You have to be compassionate and you have to be teachful, right? You have to be learning. You have to be learnful. I don't know what these words I'm saying mean, but you know what I'm trying to convey. You have to be willing to hear someone out for their wrongs and gentle parent them, right? Like, and that's how it works. Like, that's the reality. You don't like that, and guess what? That's why the world doesn't go your way. That's why it doesn't go your way.
Your chat is calling me racist. Do you make any attempt to modify?
I have not looked at my chat.
Moderate that at all.
I have not looked at my chat at all, but you
I
have
just
to
opened it, but don't you have moderators? Do you care at all about what your audience says about me?
There's 32,000 people in here right now.
I'm just trying to tell you guys how.
Wait, let's look at the chat. Let's look at the chat real quick.
Calling me
okay with this.
Okay, end call. People and ideas don't change, obviously. Like, what? That is so stupid. White people see BLM as white lives don't matter. What the fuck? No, white people don't see it that way. Extreme people on the right see it that way. Normal people can see. Like, that's the problem, is that, like, white people don't see it that way. Extremists see it that way. What is Ethan's actual opinion? Well, he said it multiple times, is that free Palestine. You don't have to kill Israeli citizens for that.
Do you care?
Zionism is fucking finished, buddy. Now, what is Zion? Like, this whole thing is just insane to me. People interpret Black Lives Matter as meaning white lives should be suppressed. They are idiots and they still believe it. Right. But Black Lives Matter doesn't insinuate anything about white lives. You're just saying that I could say Black Lives Matter, I could pause, and then I could say white lives matter, I could pause, and then I could say Asian lives matter. None of those things mean anything outside of what I am saying, right? Like, none of those things mean anything outside of what I am saying. Sorry. Just curious towards what, because I just keep seeing the name pop up, so I want to see if it's like a bot or something. I don't know, but I can't tell. Anyways, let's continue.
Your chat is calling me racist. Do you make
like, okay, wait, go back. I just saw one right there that just was pretty important.
Hasan was seemingly
because this, like,
do you make any attempt to modify?
I have not looked at my chat.
Moderate that at
I have
all.
not looked at my chat at all, but you
I
have
just
to
opened it. But
like, my whole thing is that Ethan
of moderators, do you care at all about what your audience says about me?
32,000 people in here right now.
I'm just trying to tell you guys how.
Where was it? It literally said whose land. Literally said whose land, insinuating that the Jews don't belong there. And that is why the conflict is happening. Dumbass. You idiot. You just got 30,000 more Palestinians killed with that stupid ass fucking comment. That shit is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I can't even find the fucking comment. But it said, like, whose land? Whose land? And it's like, bro, you're so dumb. You're literally so dumb. You're literally so dumb.
I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
Like, it's so stupid. It is so stupid. Because that is why this fucking thing is continuing. Because Israel is using propaganda from fucking like him, and they're using him. Hasan is Israel's greatest ally. Like, he is just spewing content that they're just showing. They're just using him for fucking. They're just using him for fucking propaganda against Palestine at this point. Because yeah, you're making it seem like, and your chat is making it seem like Palestinians want all Israel's gone, or all Israelis gone, which is not the case. No one in Palestine feels like that. If anything, Palestinians more want Hamas out than they want Israel out. Like there are Jews that live in Palestine. There are fucking Palestinians that live in Israel. Like, the only thing that they want their governmental body out of there. But your suggestion is to throw the other governmental body out. Like, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Full of fucking.
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do if you're.
Do you not care about Palestinian children? Like, bro, this is so insane.
You know that, right? Like,
Hasan's chat had been calling me a Zionist, baby-killing genocider. Maybe it is unreasonable that I'm asking him to moderate his chat for a friend. He doesn't even know where I'm coming from because it's not something he would ever ask for.
And all these other content creators actually, you know, whipping their communities when their chat is going fucking absolutely bananas over random dumb shit.
Yo, what up, Cloudsy? What's going on, Cloudsy? How's it going, bro? Always love to see you in this chat, bro, honestly. It just makes me so excited. Because you really been around, bro. Like, oh my God. I really love you, bro. Because it's like, you really make me believe I could be a streamer. You really made me believe I could be a streamer. Because you always tune in. You always chime in and chat. And seeing familiar names and faces is what makes me want to keep doing it. But then 99% of the time, I'm just here alone. So, but it's fine. You know what I mean? I got to stay consistent if I want people to even come think about my content. But I appreciate you for being here. Right now, we're reacting to the Hasan content nuke from Ethan Klein. And yeah, so it's gonna get political. It's gonna get political. I'd appreciate if you liked it. I'd appreciate you know what I mean? But yeah.
Name up for no fucking reason. That you were just allowing that shit to run rampant in your chat, and I thought that was fucked up.
He's that's about to cry, by the way, because I'll tell you why. That whole thing with XQC, he's crying because XQC put him at like a D tier on like a streamer, like a tier list. It was a streamer tier list, and Hasan was D tier or some shit like that. And Hasan's chat was like literally, or XQC's chat was literally saying like just fucking with Hasan. You know what I'm saying? They were talking shit about Hasan. Hasan cries about it and then says that XQC should moderate and all this fucking stuff. But then again, when Ethan is just kind of saying like why this conflict is kind of being dragged on, it's because the refusal from people like Hasan to see issues on both sides and how Israeli citizens and the Israeli government could see things on an extreme level because of people propping it up like Hasan. There's no type of sympathy. No type of sympathy. Let's go back to what he said to Ethan. Here, let's see it. Let's hear it again. Let's hear what he said about SQC.
When their chat is going fucking absolutely bananas over random dumb shit. And bringing my name up for no fucking reason. That you were just allowing that shit to run.
All right, bro.
Your chat.
All right, bro. What concert you going to? Who you going to go see? A concert? 8:45 a.m.? Like a church concert, big bro?
And I thought that was fucked up.
Ethan, I love you, but there's only so much I can do.
Especially as someone who thought we were fucking friends. I think that's a reasonable expectation for someone who you consider to be a friend.
The problem wasn't that he was pro-Palestinian, because I share a lot of those views, and I've been a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian cause for many years. The problem with Hasan's coverage, and a lot of people like him, was their complete lack of empathy for the Jewish people who were frankly slaughtered by Hamas. He refused to show even a crumb.
Not me. Not me. It's for my band. Oh shit, you got it. That's what's up, bro. Oh shit. That is what's up, bro. We need fucking bands. We need more garage bands, bro. So imagine it's not like you're like not in a garage band, but you're like a fully fledged like fucking Beatle. That'd be crazy. That'd be actually insane. But all right, bro. Have a good practice, man.
For the Jewish victims.
But listen to what this guy has to say.
As you might have seen, there was some sort of rave or desert party where they were having a great time until the resistance came in electrified hang gliders and took at least several dozen hipsters. But I'm sure they're doing very fine despite what the New York Post says. But nobody had seen this coming.
I mean, that's insane, right?
I don't even. Yeah. Okay.
Like, oh my God, it's so gross. Like, Hasan can't even stand on his fucking business. Like, bro, you're a big ass 6'3", big ass fucking sexy giant of a man, and you can't even stand on your fucking legs and say, yes, that's insane, or no, it's not insane. Like, these people think that this is the resistance. Like, you have to pick one. You can't be, this is the Palestinian resistance, and then when there's something you disagree with, you go, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I guess that could be bad. Like, bro, where the fuck is your spine? Look at him cower. Let's see it again. This fucking sexy human being of a fucking leftist. Like, oh my God, he's so pathetic.
But listen to what this guy has to say.
Wait, you know what? Let's hear the whole thing again, just so we can hear how insane this guy's take is. By the way, just for context, this is after October 7th. This is after the rave where innocent, young, Israeli, non-military, I mean, I don't know if they were fucking settlers or not, honestly, but they weren't doing anything militarily at the time. They were at a fucking concert, and these citizens were, these, I'm pretty sure they were just like, listen, I don't know all the facts, but I'm pretty sure they were just like citizens, right? They were just like, and even if there were settlers, I agree that there's context where settlers are definitely valid military targets, and then there's others where there's really not, right? Like we can agree on that. But this guy is essentially saying that these innocent civilians who were at a concert deserve to die because they were Israeli. Like, we should be happy about that. And then Hasan knows that this is crazy, but then when it's brought up to him to confront, when it's brought up to him to be confronted about what do you think about this, it's yeah, I guess it's crazy. Like,
They were having a great time until the resistance came in electrified hang gliders and took at least several dozen hipsters. But I'm sure they're doing very fine despite what the New York Post says. But nobody had seen this coming.
I mean, that's insane, right?
I don't even. Yeah. Okay. Like.
Okay.
I
I'm
don't.
just criticizing people. You don't have to comment if you're not comfortable about it. I honestly felt it.
that's insane. Like, you're telling me, okay, like, so he conceded that it's insane, but the level at which he conceded that it's insane, why that, right? Like, why the hesitation there? Why not just be open about the fact that you're against it? It's because he's not against killing civilians. That is why. Like, Hasan is not against, Hasan doesn't believe that there are good, he believes all Israelis are settlers, are occupiers, are he said babies are settlers. Like, bruh, yeah, that's just as valid of an argument as saying that fucking like dreamers and DACA kids and stuff like that, they shouldn't be citizens. Like, I think the DACA citizens should not be DACA. I think they should be citizens because they were fucking essentially born here. They were brought here against their will. Why the fuck should I treat him differently because of that? I shouldn't, right? Like, it's insane to say that Israeli babies are settlers and settlers are valid military targets. So therefore, 2 and 2. Like, bro, you're fucking ridiculous. And like, oh my God, you're so ridiculous. And no, I do not agree with Israel fucking bombing Palestinian kids. That's ridiculous. But if I'm not a fucking idiot, I can see that, hey, if I don't want the bear to eat my cubs, maybe don't fucking poke the bear. Like, yeah, I'm in the den of wolves. Let me not wake them the fuck up.
But this dude just called babies militants.
No, I understand. And there are baby settlers as well. But there are baby settlers as well. There are babies in the settlements.
Part of run.
There are babies in the settlements. Bro, yeah, there are babies in the settlements. There were baby Nazis? Like, are you crazy?
Hamas is downplaying the violence, specifically the sexual violence, which he's done a lot of.
Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much.
Ugh.
So that's the other part of this problem that many people can't contend with. Like,
ew.
The Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets.
That's insane. How about just don't consider the rapist part of the resistance, right? Like, how about instead of saying that Israelis and all that stuff were not R-worded and stuff like that, instead of saying that, how about just say people who are doing that shit are not part of the fucking resistance? Like, am I crazy? Or is this just fucking obvious?
The Palestinian resistance is not perfect. They're not like so good. They have magical bullets. Is not perfect.
Of course, if you compare the raw numbers, Gazans have lost a lot more than Israelis.
Yeah, very true. If you compare the numbers, Gazans have lost more than Israelis. Now, here's the thing. Why the fuck are we comparing numbers on human lives? Like, does it fucking matter? Like, I hate that point. I know he didn't get to finish what he was saying, but I just fucking hate that point. Like, if you compare the numbers. I'm not comparing any fucking numbers, bro. We got billionaires killing people for billions of dollars. Like, let's be real. There's no other point in war. Like,
40,000 people have died, and neighborhoods have been completely flattened during this war. And while we should keep their plight at the top of our minds at all time, it also doesn't mean that we should disregard the lives of the Jewish people who are also affected by this. Even
very true. That's what comes back to like what I was saying about the scales of justice, right? It's like you don't counteract injustice by further injustice, right? You don't counteract this injustice by weighing down and creating a bunch of injustice until somebody decides, well, there's been enough injustice. This is what it looks like. You create balance by just behaving like the society in which you want to live. Is it that hard? Like, I don't want to live in a society where it's normal to punch people in the face randomly. So guess what I do? I do my part every day. And I don't fucking punch people in the face randomly. That's it. I don't go and yell at people not to punch people in the face randomly. I do my part and I just don't punch people in the face randomly. I don't want to live in a country where vigilantism is propped up as this good thing, right? I believe in justice, like through the courts and stuff like that. Even if that system's imperfect, I do believe that's the best way to go about it, because every other system is just as imperfect, but with more dire consequences, right? But my stance is that, like, you have to behave like the society you want to create. If you want to live in a society that is free and fully equal, then guess what? You have to be free and fully equal to everybody, right? You have to treat Satanists the same way you treat Christians, the same way you treat Muslims, the same way you treat gay people, the same way you treat straight people, the same way you treat fat people. You don't go and treat white people bad because they did bad shit a couple 100 years ago, a generation ago, whatever the fuck, right? You treat them the way you want to be treated, and they should also treat you that way to create the equal balance of things, right? They shouldn't go perpetuating racism against you because of whatever the fuck they may feel from the past. Like, if we're kind of realizing something, and if we think about something, is that history at the end of the day is just used to justify injustice of today. It's easy to say, well, this is okay because of what happened in 19 whatever the fuck. It's easy to say on the Palestinian side as well as on the Israeli side. That's so easy to say. But it's easier and it's more effective when you just wake up one day and you act in today and not in history, and you treat the Israeli like an Israeli, and you treat the Palestinian like a Palestinian, and that's it, right? You don't do none of this trying to even out the scales. You just bring it here. That's it. You just bring it here, and eventually it'll all fall in line. That's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be this extreme shit.
Their suffering on the whole is not as great. Some of you may know that I'm an Israeli dual citizen. My wife is Israeli. My kids are half Israeli.
I kind of don't like this argument, and this could be very anti-Semitic of me, because I'm not, listen, man, I'm not too fucking familiar with any of this shit. I'm a dumbass from fucking Philadelphia. But anyways, I don't like this argument because a part of the problem is that Palestinians are not granted citizenship the same way Israelis are. And some people, and I don't know if this is anti-Semitic or not, but I'm just saying some people view the fact that Israel just accepts any Jew who wants to be a part of Israel as citizens as kind of a smack in the face, because they're trying to overpopulate, right? They're trying to fill up Israel with Jews so that you could buy property, you expand the settlements and stuff like that. Like come on, let's be realistic. We know that we can see that people want to expand Israel. Like that is what Zionism is, right? That is the idea of Zionism. but there's also been a more liberal sense of Zionism where it's just more like you like what Ethan. Okay, I would argue that Ethan is a Zionist in the sense that Ethan is just a Zionist in that he wants Israel to remain existing. He's not an expansion Zionist. Like he's not an like a expanding. Like he doesn't believe in the expansion of Israel. He believes in the whatever the fuck Israel has now, other than the apartheid shit. The country of Israel should stand is his belief. That is literally it. Free Palestine and the country of Israel should believe.
Israeli, and my entire
Should
in-law
stay standing.
is Israeli. I lived there for 5 years, and I grew a closeness with the country and its people. One of the biggest issues between me, Hasan, and his community was that I am in favor of a two-state solution, while they are
Right.
in
I was
favor
just saying that.
of a one-state solution. Their theory is that after the October 7th attack, Israel should just dissolve its borders and let Hamas enter Israel unrestrained.
Borders.
What do you think Israel should have done in response to October 7th?
Instead of indiscriminate.
1 second. 1 second.
Permanently bombing Gaza, I think the first thing to do in that situation would be to dismantle the government in the way that it existed, like get Netanyahu out of power.
Okay. So you're saying Israel in
85%.
response. Hold on, dude. You're saying in response.
Right, like that's insane. That is an insane take. You can't have your country invaded, civilians killed, and then just, okay, well, we tried, time to dismantle the fucking government. Like, what type of non-solution is this? Like, this is Hasan's solution. Hasan's solution is to dismantle the government rather than actually come up with something reasonable on how we could how we can mend this as quick as possible. As quickly as possible. His solution is dismantle the fucking government? What? Are we crazy? Like, do we really think as leftists, as leftists, do we really think that's possible? Name one government that has stepped down since you've been alive. Name one. If you could just name one, that shit would be great. Name one fucking government that just stepped down. What? I must be losing my goddamn marble. The fuck? I gotta be on some. Yo. By the way, it's very plain, and I'll explain to you why this is plain. It's because listen. It's because the Panda Express where I live, and I'm sure it's probably like this a lot of places, they put eggs in their rice. I can't have eggs. I am allergic, so okay.
In response to this terrorist attack, Israel should have dismantled their own government.
First set of actions would be to democratically take Netanyahu out of power. Yes.
The problem is that Israel's been at war with its neighbors for 70 plus years, and it makes
Oh
a
my
lot
God,
of
I
sense
just
that
spilled
there'd be
rice
some
everywhere.
distrust there. Is it really insane to think that Jews, as an ethnic minority in Israel, would not be safe? After all, Israel is a country of refugees. If the Jews didn't come from Europe after the Holocaust, they came from the surrounding Arab countries that expelled them in massive amounts following the 1948 war. In fact, there was more Jews displaced than Palestinians during the Nakba. 1 million Jews. All of these surrounding Arab countries had vibrant Jewish communities in huge number, hundreds of thousands. Now, if you look at them, you're looking at close to, if not literally, 0 Jews left in these countries.
Just to give you an idea, here's a visual representation of the Jewish refugees after 1948. Morocco had 265,000 Jews. Now it has 2,000. Algeria had 140,000. Now it has about 50. Iraq
About 50 is crazy.
150,000 Jews, now 10. And I want to give a special shout out to my boy over in Afghanistan, one known Jew. We know him. We love him. He's the one Afghan Jew.
That's
They were
crazy.
forced to leave their homes, their lives, their property, and migrate to the only place in the world that would accept them, which was Israel. The irony of this whole situation is that after the 1948 war, when Israel won the war to declare its independence, the Arab countries got super anti-Semitic against their own Jewish citizenry that had nothing to do with Israel. And as a result, they kicked them all out, 1 million plus of them, and forced them to go the one place they hated the most, Israel. And now those same people that forced them out of their homes are telling them they don't belong there. So if the Jews of Israel are surrounded by Islamic
I literally can't pause it there.
terrorist groups that have stated their
Oh
goal
my
is
God,
to
I just
annihilate Israel as a Jewish state.
I just rubbed green bean all over my mouse. How did that get there?
Jews being pogromed from Arab countries, is it really that crazy for them to not feel safe as an ethnic minority, even a little bit?
And that's pretty much the entirety of our disagreement. Despite what you've read on TikTok and Twitter, I've donated $6,500 to a Palestinian charity after the war started.
Hey, Ethan Klein, thank you for the dono. Ethan Klein gave $6,500. My goat. Thank you, Ethan.
Condemned Netanyahu as a war criminal.
They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal.
Called the West Bank settlements an abomination.
Settlers in the West Bank are religious zealots, they're monsters, they're genocidal.
I've even said the West Bank settlers are valid military targets.
When you talk about like colonial settlers and stuff, like that's what's actually happening in the West Bank right now. And these people are more or less valid military targets, in my opinion.
My only crime is wanting a two-state solution instead of one, and thinking it's not okay to kill Israeli civilians. That's it. That's why they're calling me a Nazi.
The fuck? It says I'm live. Hello? Okay, whatever. I'm fine, I guess.
Nazi Zionist. And because of Hasan and others spreading this malicious lie about my beliefs, I'm even getting harassed on the street.
So how come you don't like Palestine?
I like Palestine.
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're... wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Mandatory service.
That's
She's born
sad.
there.
That's terrorism, bro.
She was born there.
That's sad. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist,
Bro,
man.
look in the fucking...
You look like a fucking rapist, Ethan. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist, bro.
Jesus.
All these coward Americans in the South trying to act like they're so tough. Oh, I'm American. Oh, you don't even run your own country. You don't run your own country, bro. You don't run your own country. A foreign country named Israel runs your country. Oh my God, bro! I love you, Hasan. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
I'm so sweaty.
I love you, bro. I have to interview you. You're like you're my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay in that one. Hold on.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hold on, I think I look gay in that one. Hold on.
Okay.
The funny thing about me, I don't like terrorism, and I don't like terrorists. If they're Jews, Christians, Muslims, they're all bad. What is terrorism? It's intentionally targeting civilian population for political goals. I don't like it, none of it. And over time, I started to learn that my co-host, he really likes terrorists.
They do musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
Isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
Taking over these ships, they started targeting the ships.
People on this helicopter right now?
Yes.
They're streaming this?
Yeah. Yeah. They're flex.
Here's Hasan's, and I'm about to be super woke on this. Essentially, what I believe Hasan is trying to do here, right? Hold on. One second. Okay. Okay.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrence. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
That
Hezbollah
is
a
crazy.
paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say, but they are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well,
he is regarded as a pretty brilliant a person in terms of like everything that he's done.
Then I saw clips like this where Hasan is explaining how he's hiding his power level to funnel in normies into radicalization.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you
This to me is Ethan's strongest point. This shit is gross. Really listen to what Hasan says here. This shit is gross. This shit is gross. This shit is gross. This shit is gross. Hold on. This shit is gross. This shit is gross. Wait.
How he's hiding his power level to funnel in normies into radicalization.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda. You want America in the way that I feel about it, and if you want America to get out of the way for places with more revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, you know, one thing you have to do is advocate for a lighter form.
Okay, one second.
More revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, you know, one thing you have to do is advocate for a lighter form while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond, you know,
right,
social democratic idea.
I just wanted to like put emphasis on the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel.
Lighter form, well, have to do evolutionary
Let's listen.
that you
radicalization. Hiding his
This, in my opinion, is Ethan Klein's strongest point against Hasan Piker. And not only this is Ethan Klein's strongest point against Hasan Piker, and not just because it's radicalizing to them to the left, you're opening up people to radicalization, period. Both sides are being radicalized, and that is not good. Once again, the scales of injustice went from this to this to this to now we're doing this again. Like, we were so close 10 years ago. So close. And all of a sudden, both sides are now being radicalized by normalization of behaviors like this from Hasan, who is consciously doing it. Let's listen to Hasan's own words on how he gets young people into politics.
Power level to funnel in normies into radicalization.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda. You want America in the way that I feel about it, and if you want America to get out of the way for places with more revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, you know, one thing you have.
That's the thing too, that you kind of don't really listen to when you're listening to Hasan. What do you mean America get out of the way? So you don't like America, one. Second, you want it to get out of the way. Why are you here, right? Like, why are you here? I mean, the answer is money, of course. He could go live in a socialist community and live his dream, right? Like, that just doesn't make, like, why of all people you're trying to liberate, right? Why are you, it seems like that's literally what it kind of seems like you're trying to, like, liberate Americans. And it's like, well, do we need the liberating, or do the other people you're trying to focus on need the liberating, you know? It's just, it's a little crazy to me. That's all. It's a little crazy.
Have to do is advocate for a lighter form while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond, you know, Right. Social democratic idea.
I just wanted to like put emphasis on the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel, where, for example, Hasan and JT catch them while they're young, as they say, and then
Did you hear that?
looking into this.
Say that again. Where you catch them while they're young. Who thinks about it like that? And why should you be thinking about it like that? Right? Like, even the laugh that comes out of him when he says that shit. Even the laugh. Like,
I just wanted to.
You know, one thing you have to do is advocate for a lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond, you know, social democratic idea.
I just wanted to like put emphasis on the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel, where, for example, Hasan and JT catch them while they're young, as they say,
as
and
they
then
say,
start looking into this new idea, etc., and then move forwards through the funnel, get more and more informed, get more and more radicalized. You do your part in the funnel for the cause, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're doing, in my modest opinion, a great thing for the cause.
Now listen to Hasan during our very first conversation lie to me about how he's a social democrat to hide his power level.
We should move towards a Sweden-style economy or a Norway-style economy, which would be a social democracy.
You have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda.
With robust social safety nets.
Cold radicalization funnel, catch them while they're young, as they say.
And protections for workers, like higher unionization rates.
A lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond social democratic ideas.
okay.
Hell, he's proclaimed it loudly that he is a self-described propagandist.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no,
For the record.
I'm not calling
I'm a
you that.
propagandist.
I'm just saying. I'm going to play you.
I'm saying I am.
Okay, well then I want to.
I'm saying I am.
I just
before
want to
you
put
even play it.
A propagandist is much more than someone with a bias. It's someone who knowingly lies to further
Right.
their political agenda.
Right,
And then
exactly.
I had a terrifying vision. Had I been duped? Was Hasan presenting a Trojan horse to my community, where he was just a left-leaning Democrat like myself, and as he said in the previous video, was funneling them into radicalization and turning them
against me.
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet, dude.
I learned how much he hates liberals.
Dude, I hate liberals, dude. I hate them. I hate them so viciously.
Did he secretly despise me this whole time?
I'm sorry, dude. I hate liberals.
I love this part of the video.
Sit next to me for 2 years and pretend to be my friend?
Dude, liberals are a burden on this planet, dude. Liberals are the most, like, scummy, vile, fucking idiots. Liberals are incredibly stupid. I hate these petulant liberals, dumb fucking liberals.
What else is someone this sociopathic capable of?
Liberals are some of the easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet, dude.
Was I being manipulated this whole time?
That was my fear anyway. Regardless of his true beliefs, that broke my trust in him, and I...
That is such a valid point because... excuse me, Jesus Christ. That is such a valid point because, like, Hasan, don't get me wrong, I definitely knew Hasan was not a normal fucking socialist, right? Like, I didn't, like, we all know he's communist, right? But that's because we're the viewer. We're the people who watch, right? We're not the one living the life of a creator. We're not the one as busy as these people. So it makes sense that somebody like Ethan would definitely, especially with Hasan doing things like with being with AOC, like being with, like, all of these things ring liberal. But then he goes on his stream to his actual parasocial fan base, and he's an extremist. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the gross part about this, and it needs to be called out.
That pretty much ended the show immediately. And I felt guilty for my participation in mainstreaming Hasan. And for that, I apologize. I should have done more research, and I should have looked more deeply into who I was getting in bed with before they gave me chlamydia. Sorry, Hila. Over the past year since the show ended, I continue to watch Hasan platform, promote, and propagandize terrorist organizations. And every time it happened on Twitch, I would say, man, this time surely he went too far, and someone's got to do something. But as the time went on, nothing happened, and his views got more and more radical and more disturbing. I feel it's my obligation, after mainstreaming someone like Hasan, to take this on. And so it was war. Nuclear war.
I stand before you following the footsteps of intellectual giants.
One thing we've been hearing
nothing
for weeks.
but a simple man.
Now,
a
is
simple
that the
man
left
who understands
needs a Joe
right
Rogan?
from wrong.
Yeah.
I
You're an
sometimes
important,
that's all that
influential
matters.
voice to a lot of people.
I'm an idiot, I'm a dumb bimbo, I don't know what I'm talking about.
And there are some things
I've gotten numb to criticism like this. It's not. As a matter of fact, I seek it out now because I make content out of it. I think it's funny and fun.
And there are baby settlements as well.
Yeah, fuck up, bloodthirsty, violent Doesn't matter if fucking rapes happen.
Meanwhile, at Twitch HQ, the marketing team is...
That was just the beginning. That was just the beginning, my God.
My friends at
This...
Twitch headquarters...
Okay, this to me is the craziest part of the whole thing. Because nobody talks about... Okay, fine. You want to disagree with the Hasan aspect of this content, Nuke? Fine. Fine. Disagree with it. That's fine. Like, that's literally fine. But, on the other hand, can we not talk about the Twitch shit in, like, good faith? Because this Twitch shit is crazier than ever. Like, the Twitch shit is crazier than the Hasan shit, honestly. I would much rather talk about this Twitch shit over the Hasan shit. I don't care about the Hasan shit. Hasan is just, like, irrelevant. Like, that's just, like, that's just me being honest. Like, Hasan is just, it's not a drop in the bucket to what's actually going on in the world, right? Twitch, which is a company that hosts live streams like Hasan's, they're the ones you got to go after. Because they're the ones who peddle the narrative, actually. Hasan wouldn't have a platform if he wasn't propped up by these certain people. I mean, he would have a platform. He's a talented guy, I guess. But not, like, to this level, right? He would have at least been banned a couple more times, probably even perma-banned, probably even forced to the shadows of Kick because of how extreme his views are, right? Like, hey.
The executives, the influencers, Hasan, nice to see you, Frogan, front row. I am here to present to you
an extraordinarily exciting opportunity. We have not tapped this market yet. Now, don't panic, okay? Because you're going to want to panic, I'll tell you, but listen and learn. Who's billions of dollars eager to spend it?
Why is it inactive?
People are too cowardly to reach out and take the money.
Not us.
Terrorism. Terrorism. Twitch is perfect. You could broadcast it straight into the veins of 18 to 35-year-old men. So here's what I'm suggesting. Hasan Piker. Yeah, we'll get drinks after the show. No, you. He's such a great guy. No, you. Give it up for Hasan Piker, everybody. Happy birthday, buddy. This dude can package anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism like nobody else. In fact, you guys got him on the front page. And he's doing terrorism for free. Basically, gentlemen and gentle ladies, Frogan, you look good today, girl.
Babe?
Girl, you look good. Great job on that Arab tier list. That was good. How much we get for that? Yo, you got 10 million from Qatar for that? That's what I'm talking about.
I hate that point, by the way.
Here's the thing. With help from people like Hasan,
I hate that point, by the way.
in the eyes of the beholder, right? They're not terrorists. They're, go ahead. Go ahead. He knows. Freedom fighters, guys. We are fighting for freedom. What about the rapes and the murders? Don't mention that.
I hate this part. I gotta say, it like muddies the whole message.
Perfect. Right?
It muddies the whole message. I hate this whole skip part.
Didn't buy that car.
If I knew that this is what communism would be in 2024, I wouldn't have bothered with this shit. Really. A Porsche is the symbol of the
Also, let's be real. Most of Hasan's fans, or most of the people that Ethan wants to watch this video, doesn't know who Lenin is.
capitalist excess. What the fuck is he thinking? You guys actually believe this idiot is a socialist? Forget a religion. Hasan is the opiate of the masses. Straight to the gulag for anyone subbed to this idiot.
Or that designer dog.
This breed's stunning fluffy coat comes with a price. Chow Chows shed all year.
Very cute, by the way. But those are expensive. The point is, we have the biggest political streamer on our platform.
Right.
It's influencing media and influencing young kids everywhere. If we can normalize terrorism, if we could rebrand it, then fuck the U.S. Navy. You know how much those guys don't pay shit. You see the Army ads on Twitch? The Army is fucking broke, dude. I'll tell you who loves America more than the Army. Qatar. Well, I don't know if love's the right word, but they're paying more. Good CPMs coming out of Qatar. But you kids love anime, right? Can't get enough of it. I mean, look at what we've already done with Hasan. You're the fucking man, dude. Happy birthday again, man. No, we got a big party for you after. No, don't do it. Let's wait, because we got a big party and a cake and everything for you after in the back. Prostitutes, too. Don't tell anyone. That's part of the pack.
I think it is funny. I just don't think that this type of stuff translates on a video like this. It gives people too much to... My biggest criticism of this whole content nuke and Ethan's whole thing on Hasan is I think that Ethan needs to better message his message. He needs to wrap the envelope up. He needs, dude, literally wrap it up, bro. Like, you're literally feeding these people who already don't want to hear any of your points. You're giving them reasons to, like, think about it like this. When Dean, one of the biggest voices right now on the young left, right? One of the bigger voices coming up, and he's got a lot of momentum right now. When he skips through your video, and most of his skips land on some sort of skit and not a fucking strong point about Hasan, that is a problem, bro. Because that's all you're gonna get from people like Dean. All you're going to get is a small little click here and there. You're not gonna get the benefit of the doubt that like a fan, like somebody like me or somebody who's already on your side is gonna give you. You're not gonna get that type of push. Like, you're just not, bro. You are not. And I want to see you win this in the long run because I do believe you are in the right. Like, it's all about empathy. It's like duh. It's not even a fucking question. Like, the fuck? It's not even a fucking question. But to some people, it is a question, though. That's the thing. To some people, shit, some people think that, you know, people are wild, man. That's literally it. People are just wild, and it's insane.
Past. Look what we've done already. This Houthi pirate. I mean, who are you kidding? This guy's a fucking terrorist. He literally tweeting out he wants to kill Jews and put their heads on pikes. And somehow, not somehow, because of his genius, we have rebranded the Houthi fucking pirates, the Houthi terrorist organization. Yeah, the Islamic fundamentalists. Death to America, curse upon the Jews. That's right. That's the Jolly Roger of this man here. None other than Monkey D. Luffy. So let's get out there, guys. And let's make 2025 our biggest year, guys. Come on, guys. The resistance isn't perfect. The resistance is
Like, this type of shit is just... I don't like this type of stuff. It's in poor taste, in my opinion.
On the political spectrum Hasan sits, take a look at a recent media analysis by Ad Fonte, which rated Hasan as the most extreme left-wing, untrustworthy media source on the internet. And to give you an idea, he is opposite of InfoWars. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Hasan loves all terrorists, but what I will say is that there isn't many he don't like. Let's start with our good friend Luffy here and his organization, the Houthis.
And yes, this is what it looks like. They are hiling Hitler.
I just got banned from fucking TikTok for watching this, by the way. Just like to point that out. Just banned on fucking TikTok for watching this. So I'm gonna just get off stream for